Welcome back. Shop Dog's excited. I have been traveling all week in sunny San Diego to come back to this. Although I guess this is less snow than we had. And we're going to go open the shop up. I got back yesterday. Ollie's dying to go see just how cold it is in here. I don't remember what I set it at. So Shop Dog's going to pee real quick. I found the key. Because, you know, you put stuff like that away and then you don't remember where you set it. Oh, it's not that bad in here. What do we got? 50 degrees. It's not the end of the world. I thought I set it in the 40s. I guess not. So, I don't know what I'm working on yet today. Those plates for the Courier, they should be here on Monday. I was kind of hoping they would show up while I was gone, but they didn't get shipped until Friday. So I should have them Monday. So I may work a little on the Pontiac today. I'm not sure what I'm doing. I know I'm going to be handing some Pringles out to Shop Dog. Okay, Shop Dog says that we've been a little busy. Been pulling this all back apart. I think I'm going to go ahead and get this cleaned up and installed today. You can see the concept here for the pump. I did have to order 2 more of these 120s. I think that's the secret for making this as tidy as possible. On the upside, I mean, we got a whole bunch of fittings that can go back. So there's probably a couple $100 right there. But yeah, that's something I'd like to get accomplished today, is get this plate on there and set up. The other thing is I'm really starting to think about what I want to do here. You know, here is the temp sensor for the Dakota. But I'm going to need a temp sensor for the Davies Craig water system. And I'm thinking I may take this bypass location. I really want to kind of explore it, and because it feels like it might be an eddy location here, so I got to think on that. It may not be the best spot. So, but I'm gonna have to measure that. And either which way, you know, whether I order another one or modify this one, obviously we're not gonna have that bypass hose anymore. So whether that's a block off or, you know, I cut it and thread it and put in a MPT port. Don't know yet. I'm still thinking on that. Okay, while I'm slowly getting this cleaned up, I do have rags stuffed down in there, so I'm not getting anything in to the water jacket here. But you can see, just slowly getting all this off. You know, gasket material and some RTV. So we'll get it all out of there. Shop Dog thinks this is kind of boring. We just sent Shop Dog back in. Just down here, gently scraping and scraping. So we're getting cleaned off. And I understand that there's actually no water here anymore in this cavity. That's not important. I still need this to be a good surface so the gasket adheres nicely. These bolts I torqued to 11 foot-pounds and then to 20 foot-pounds. I do have sealant on them because I don't know in a Ford if those go into water or not. So put sealant on them. Yeah, you know, got gasket cinch all around the areas that matter. And we're going to let this plate cure. And then I'll come back later and clean up. I got a little gasket cinch here. I can clean that up with some brake clean. You know, keep this looking nice. It's pretty cool looking. One thing that's nice is suddenly timing this thing is going to get a lot better. This was really difficult to see before, and now I think we'll be able to see it. And I do still need to find a better filter for here. I really don't like the fact that this one can unscrew and fill that up with a lot of gasoline that isn't in the carb. That was really scary. One of the things we have to do is start peeling back the wiring, because obviously a larger alternator is going to just melt that. So I'm just slowly pulling all of this apart. I'm kind of to this point that I'm not sure I'm going to be happy with how all this is routed when we go to the electric fan and everything anyway. And no matter what, I really want to feed the fan's power right from the battery. So, I want to work with that as well. So I'm probably changing these leaded ends that he's got. I know he likes them, but, if they don't meet our needs, they don't meet our needs. So, yeah, I keep pulling that apart. Still thinking about what I want to do for the thermostat, or not thermostat, the temp sensor. So we'll keep thinking on that. Slowly peeling back the onions here from years and years of people making changes and getting through here. I do at some point need to decide what I'm going to do about the voltage regulator, because obviously we're not going to need it. I just need to find out what it's hooked into in this system, particularly since we have a voltmeter and not a bulb, because we have that Dakota Dash. So I don't know that that's actually running anything. I don't have to enable a field. It's a one-wire alternator. So I got to go through that. The other thing is I actually peeled some original harness here, and it still has, I think it was the talcum powder back then in here. But yeah, it smells. So going through that. And then at some point I'm going to add connectors to these two ground wires here and here that I had to cut to take it all apart, because somebody changed the upper fog light to be dual element, so, but they didn't change the connector. So I got to go through and see, this one's a 3-pin, that's a 2-pin, and then they wired in that pin. So anyway, I want to make that easier in the future. Just kind of going through this. This is not a rewire, restore, change the car. It's going to be kind of what it was before, but I need to take stuff out. One thing that I'm kind of surprised by is how brittle all of this has been. It is just coming apart in little chunks. It's very, very brittle. And I know it's not from UV. It's got to be from heat, particularly everything right up front here. That just crumbled. So going through that. Anyway, I gotta go in and taste some rosemary salt and see how the wife and ShopDog are doing. I'll be back. I'm sure it'll come back off, but for now I've got this on. I wound up cutting that off, tapping, drilling it out, tapping it, putting a plug in it. It's really the only thing I could think of for that location. I really can't put a temp sensor there. It's in a little backwater, and I don't think it's going to be as accurate as we would want. Still figuring out where I'm going to have to drill and tap for the other sensor. Or do I try to do something here? I don't know. I got to think on this for a little bit yet. We've decided this is the location. It's the only thing that's going to make sense that I can actually still get to clean. You'll see there's stuffed rags in there. Got the shop vac out. And it's thick enough to do what I need to do. So we're just keeping enlarging the hole until we can tap it. Here is the finished product. So you can see we're going to be nice down in flow. Here, maybe you can see. So I'm pretty happy with that. See, you can see here, this was going to be the problem here. Well, maybe it's easier for you to see it this way. Is because of this bolt hole, that really gets blocked. And with the thickness here, if I'd have tapped it and put it in there, basically the tip of that probe would be in this little corner back here where no water is circulating, and we could read peculiar results. So we didn't want that. Yeah, so this is probably about as good a spot as I could have come up with. Honestly, I would have preferred to come in the side here, from under here, but then that causes other problems with the distributor, and we don't want, why cause problems if you don't have to? So there, I think I like this solution. This is what the finished product looks like. Note, there is no thermostat in there anymore. Well, maybe you can note. No thermostat. The controller for the pump actually controls the speed and acts like the thermostat, so it'll slowly rotate when the engine's cool and just very slowly move water, and then as it warms up it'll move it faster and faster, so we don't actually have to create that pressure there. So that's pretty slick. This is going to work out really, really cool, I hope. ShopDog just reminded me we've got a little derby tonight, so I'm going to wrap up. I feel pretty good with what we've gotten done so far today. And as far as I know, these plates are going to be here Monday. So we'll see. We'll see, because you know how shipping works nowadays. Very, very interested in seeing how that works out. So at this point, ShopDog says, thanks for watching. We had a lot of fun today. It's good to be home, and it sure is cold out there. So, all right. Have a good night. ShopRex has to remember, safety first.